Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're breaking down your absolutely crucial mission as a volunteer for the League of Christian Schools Accreditation Team. I want you to think of yourselves as investigators. Your objective isn't just to go in and check some boxes, it's to uncover the true, accurate story of a school's operations, their culture, and their academic rigor. It's such a vital role, and having a crystal clear grasp of these procedures is absolutely going to be the key to your success.
Here's the roadmap for your deployment. First up, the briefing, or your pre-visit prep. 2, the field timeline, covering that 3-day schedule. 3, we're going to master the primary tool, the VTR. And finally, 4, mission accomplished, where we handle the finalization. All right, Section 1, the briefing. Your investigation actually kicks off way before you ever step foot on the school's campus. You're going to receive an invite to a dedicated team folder, which is basically your digital home base. Inside, you'll find the Accreditation Visiting Team Manual, which is essential reading, especially if it's been a minute since you last served. You'll also see a short list of required documents to review, plus some really helpful sample interview questions to guide your on-site conversations.
While reviewing these materials, we really need to understand how to universally evaluate any area of the institution. So we're going to dive deep into the accreditation standards. The goal here isn't to get bogged down in one single metric, but to truly familiarize yourself with the universal mechanics of the rubric. Knowing how to apply the criteria broadly ensures that no matter what specific area of the school you're looking at, you are assessing it with the exact same level of objectivity and rigor.
Moving on to Section 2, the field timeline and your 3-day visit schedule. What's genuinely fascinating about this schedule is how it builds real investigative momentum. You aren't just showing up and wandering the halls, right? This is a highly choreographed deployment.
And this perfectly illustrates your timeline. Day 1 kicks off with a team dinner to align on roles and review the plan. Day 2, that is your intensive field mission, where you're on the ground gathering data all day. And finally, Day 3 is the extraction phase, finalizing your findings before the lead evaluator holds the concluding meeting.
Let's zoom in on Day 2 for a second. You might think arriving early is just a tip to beat the morning commute, but it's actually a vital step in your investigation. You arrive early specifically to observe the real-time arrival procedures. Honestly, seeing how a school handles the morning rush tells you so much about their operational flow. From there, you'll meet the head of school, jump into classroom observations, conduct interviews, and start drafting your report.
Which brings us to Section 3, master the primary tool, the Visiting Team Report, or VTR. To actually document all this incredible evidence you're gathering, you absolutely have to master this tool in the field.
So the VTR is the main document and grading rubric you'll be using. It's the central hub for literally all of your observations. Pro tip: when you open it up, the very first thing you should do is click on the Team Tips tab. It's basically a cheat sheet that guides you exactly on what you need to complete while you're at the school.
Here is the absolute crucial point for the VTR. For every single indicator you are assigned, your team has to provide 3 things: a numerical score, a written reason backing up that score based on your findings, and actionable next steps for the school. You literally cannot skip any of these components.
Let's talk about that score. You're going to evaluate the school's performance on a simple 1 to 4 scale. But remember, this isn't based on a gut feeling or how friendly everyone is. It has to be chosen based purely on the hard, factual evidence you gathered on site. And every single score needs that written justification.
And here is how that score builds your action plan. It actually dictates your reporting for the next steps section. If you evaluate a school and give them a 1 or a 2, it is mandatory that you write an action statement telling them exactly what they need to do to improve. But if they're rocking a 3 or a 4, writing a next step is completely optional.
Once you've scored your individual indicators, you'll scroll to the bottom of the form to the Standard Summary Reflection. This is where you pull all that specific evidence together into a broader summary paragraph. Right below that, you're going to prioritize those action statements you wrote and align them directly to their specific indicators.
When you're crafting that summary paragraph, keep this golden rule from the training in mind. Write something positive, along with some areas that they need to improve. It's so effective to strike a balanced narrative. You really want to honor their hard work by highlighting the positives while still being crystal clear about the areas where they need growth.
So picture this. You're observing, you're scoring, you're writing paragraphs, and prioritizing steps. With all these rubrics and metrics flying around across different team members evaluating different standards, how does all of this data actually come together to form one unified story for the school?
Well, that brings us perfectly to Section 4, Mission Accomplished.
This is the crucial extraction phase on day 3, where everything your team has investigated gets compiled, finalized, and verified.
The VTR actually does a lot of the heavy lifting for you here. It beautifully auto-transfers all of those individual summary paragraphs you wrote right into a single tab called the Team Standards Reflection. This means your whole team can review the holistic findings of the entire investigation in one convenient spot without constantly flipping between documents.
You'll also get to use an awesome new feature at the bottom of that page, Team Suggestions. This is your space to offer general advice to the school, and you can use simple bullet points or full narrative sentences. Because this speaks for the whole team, your lead evaluator is going to review these carefully to make sure they're incredibly clear and consistent with the rest of the report.
Now, day 3 is generally just a half day. On this final morning, your entire review team huddles up to review the compiled VTR. Your goal? Absolute agreement. Everyone has to be on the exact same page before the lead evaluator steps into that concluding meeting with the principal. Thanks to this highly organized structure, teams are usually completely finished and wrapping up the mission by noon.
Serving on an accreditation team is just an incredible act of service that profoundly impacts the educational quality of a school, so thank you for volunteering your time and expertise. As you prepare for this deployment, keeping these procedures in the power of the VTR in your back pocket, I leave you with this. What vital piece of evidence will you uncover that will ultimately help a school thrive for years to come? Good luck out there, and thanks for joining this explainer.